This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Shabbos Chazon. The Oyev Yisrael, Rabbi Mishua Heschel of Abt, the Abt Rav, comments famously in his Sefer Oyev Yisrael and Parshas Chazon that this Shabbos is the greatest b'maila of all the Shabbosos of the whole year. And the question is why? Why would anyone make the case? How could anyone make the case this is the greatest Shabbos of the year? So the Abt Rav said that he was once asked to explain a medrash. This is a medrash that's discussed by the Parshas Drachim that says, Lo haya yoim moyed li Yisrael ki yoim shenechrav beis hamikdash. There is no greater holiday for Klal Yisrael than the day the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. How do we explain this? A similar problem we find raised by the Bnei Yissaschar is that the Gemara teaches us that when Klal Yisrael were not performing the will of Hashem, the Kruvim would be separated from each other back to back. Only when Klal Yisrael performed the Ratzon of Hashem, the Kruvim faced each other. And yet, mysteriously, when the Goyim entered the Heichal to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, the Kruvim were Me'urim Zebazeh, they were embracing each other. How do we explain this phenomenon? Says the Oyev Yisrael, and the Bnei Yissaschar writes similarly. The Gemara tells us, Chayv Adam Lifkod Es Ishtay B'Shah Shu Yotzei L'Derech. A person is obligated to give extra attention to his wife when he's going to be traveling and going away. And that is because when there's a parting of loved ones, it is ma'orer, it engenders great longing, great nostalgia, great feelings, a feeling of missing the other person, and it awakens sort of dormant feelings of love. And that's why, so you go to an airport, in an airport you see very intense expressions of love, because when people are traveling and people are going to leave each other, so that is ma'orer, it brings out the dormant love that rests within two people who love each other. Likewise, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, Rabbi had to do it, there was no choice. But nevertheless, the great Ava, the Ahava Rabbah, and the Avas Olam, which is in the Lev of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kiviyachal, Chavetz Chaim tells us that even more than a person loves himself, the Rebbeinu Shalom loves us. That nuclear Ahava was awakened, was aroused, and Hashem poured it forth on Klal Yisrael. And that is the reason why the Kruvim were Me'urim Zebazeh, to symbolize that yes, even though Hashem has to destroy, but the Ahava is burning. And that is why there is no greater Yom Tov for Klal Yisrael than the day the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, because it did demonstrate the infinite love the Rebbeinu Shalom has for us. And therefore this Shabbos, which contains in it the Kedusha of the upcoming days, including Tisha B'Av, this Shabbos contains in it that Ahava, Shabbos Chazon. So therefore the Oyev Yisrael teaches us this Shabbos is the b'maila, one of the highest Shabbosos of the whole year, and therefore we should take advantage, and the Rebbeinu Shalom should be mevarech us this Shabbos, Shabbos Mekar HaBracha, B'chol Bracha Sheba'olam, and of course the greatest bracha, the Binyan Beis Hamikdash, B'mhera V'yameinu Amen.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.